Richard Gere, once one of Hollywood's most admired and bankable stars, has a story that goes far beyond the glitz of red carpets and blockbuster hits. Known for his roles in classics like Pretty Woman, An Officer and a Gentleman, and Chicago, Gere was the very embodiment of a Hollywood leading man. With his undeniable charisma and refined screen presence, he quickly rose to fame throughout the 1980s and 1990s, becoming a household name and a fan favorite across the globe. But despite all the accolades, fame, and box office triumphs, Richard Gere would later find himself quietly edged out of the very industry he helped define. The reason wasn't a scandal or fading talent, it was conviction. Gere has always walked his own path, and in the early 2000s, he took a bold step that few in Hollywood dared to follow. He spoke out politically. At the 1993 Academy Awards, Gere used his moment on stage to call attention to the Chinese government's occupation of Tibet and voiced strong support for the Dalai Lama. His comments generated headlines and backlash. Gere became increasingly vocal on human rights issues, especially regarding China. As the relationship between Hollywood and China deepened, with the Chinese box office contributing billions in revenue, studios became cautious. Any controversy that could threaten access to Chinese markets was seen as a financial liability. Gere, outspoken and principled, became a quiet casualty of that calculus. While he was never officially blacklisted, Gere later acknowledged that major studios had stopped offering him roles. In his own words, "There are definitely movies that I can't be in because the Chinese will say, 'Not with him.'" Despite this, he refused to compromise his values. Instead of retreating, he pivoted. Gere embraced independent cinema, focusing on smaller, thought-provoking films that allowed him to remain true to himself. Projects like Arbitrage and Time Out of Mind showcased his depth as an actor and were praised by critics, even if they lacked blockbuster budgets. Beyond acting, Gere doubled down on his humanitarian work, continuing to speak out for Tibet and other causes he believes in. While some may have turned their backs on him, the world watched as Gere became a symbol of integrity in an industry often more concerned with profits than principles. His story is not one of a fall from grace, but of standing firm in the face of pressure. He was turned away not because he failed Hollywood, but because he refused to betray his conscience. In doing so, he proved that fame is fleeting, but character endures. Richard Gere may no longer be the go-to name for studio tentpoles, but he has earned something even more enduring: respect. His journey reminds us that doing the right thing often comes at a cost, but it's always worth it.